Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're back with another episode. And additionally, a sponsored episode.
What?
Crazy.
We have
a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Yeah. So for the next few weeks, just a little short-term sponsorship deal. We are sponsored by Givewell. They are a charity organization, and they've asked us to read something nice for you people.
From the bottoms of our hearts.
From the bottom of our hearts.
Dark, black hearts.
Indeed. So without further ado, here goes. Donating money to help people can be a wonderful and selfless act, but how can you feel confident that your donations are improving or saving lives effectively? You could do weeks of research to find the charities that are out there, what programs they run, how effective those programs are, and how the charity might use your money. Or you could visit givewell.org. There, you'll get a short, vetted list of the best charities they've found at saving or improving lives per dollar. Givewell spends over 20,000 hours each year researching charitable organizations and only recommends a few of the highest impact, evidence-based backed charities that they've found. Over 50,000 donors have used Givewell to donate more than $750 million. Rigorous evidence suggests that these donations will save tens of thousands of lives and improve the lives of millions more. And here's the best part. Givewell is free. Givewell wants to empower as many donors as possible to make informed decisions about their donations. They publish all of their research and recommendations on their site for free, no sign-up required. They allocate your tax-deductible donation to the charity you choose without taking a cut. In fact, when we first were approached by them, we went to their website, and not only do they give a lot of really good information about all the charities that they support, they have a whole big long list of like every mistake they've ever made regarding charities, like or not following up. Like they do hold themselves very accountable, and we thought that was pretty awesome.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. If you've never donated to Givewell's recommended charities before, you can also have your donation matched up to $250 before the end of the year, or as long as their matching funds last. To get that match and to show that you came from here, go over to givewell.org, pick podcast, and enter Mile High Game Guys at checkout. Make sure they know that you heard about Givewell from Mile High Game Guys to get your donation matched. Boom. Done. First one in the bag.
Yes. Yeah. It's just cool to have a sponsor that isn't like not only a board gaming company, but like it's not board gaming related at all.
Yeah.
So,
because we did back in 2020, we did two different times where we donated some of the show's money to charities that we cared about. So, charitable giving is a good thing to do when you have the ability to do it.
Yeah, and you want to get that in before the end of the year because of all those tax incentives.
Mm-hmm. Fully tax deductible.
The most wonderful time of the year.
The most wonderful time of the year.
I don't think that's actually
No, I don't
the
think
lyrics.
that's it.
Yeah.
No. But this was a great engagement period, guys. I figured.
It was.
Yeah.
So now that you're thoroughly engaged and amped up with an ad read about charitable giving, let's talk about some board games on this board gaming podcast.
Woo.
Jeff, what have you played recently?
I played like 3 games. I played Pandemic.
Just straight Pandemic.
Just Pandemic.
Surely you had an expansion or something.
No. It was the other person's first time ever playing Pandemic.
Okay.
And so we played Pandemic. This was all online. And we were like, oh, we both own Pandemic on Steam. I'm sure we could play this copy of Pandemic together in the app's online version. Oh, did you know that the Pandemic app is literally single player only?
Nope. That seems not great.
That is super not great. Also discovered that. So then we went to Tabletop Simulator and played a scripted version of Pandemic. And it's actually a very good scripted version.
That's
like
good.
At the beginning of each person's turn, it'll like blink on the cities that have like 3 cubes on them that are like in danger zone. Be like, hey, these are a problem right now.
That's good.
Yeah,
because there's definitely times you want to just be like, oh, why are there more cities that are blinking than aren't blinking? I thought we were doing well.
Yeah. This was a 2-player version. We were playing with less than normal epidemic cards. I think there's like 3, 4 5 is normal. We were playing with 4.
Yeah, I think
I
4
wanna
is
say.
the intro, and then it's like 5, 6, and then like 7, 8.
Yeah.
So
yeah, something like that. We played with Medic and Scientist.
okay.
Oh.
We got handed because it's scripted. It just like hands out. That was like that one is for an expansion, and all of its abilities only reference that expansion. So we're not going to play with that one. Here's the medic. You're the medic now.
That seems fine.
Yeah,
Can't imagine anything
'Cause it-
going wrong
yeah,
with that.
because it still had all the roles in there for some reason.
I have to do things in the lab. Well, we don't have a lab, so
Yeah,
you're just
exactly.
you might as well just not exist as an independent character.
We had some real Asia issues in the game. It was all Asia, and I was like, all right, you should just hang out in Asia.
just
and
clear
just-
everything up
Just
constantly.
just keep doing that. And then I really like. This is the first time I played the game, so I was really trying not to be like, you need to go here and clear that out. Then you need to go to this space, discard that card because that lets you go here. And then and I was really trying not to like quarterback the ultra.
newbie.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is the most efficient path, and we barely made it at the end. It was still close. Definitely tried to go hard luck on card pulls because I mean, as myself as the scientist, I was just trying to get 4 of a kind to be able to get those cures out, and then I was like, all right, let me introduce you to the Jesus walk of Pandemic. Once we cure something, you just move into the space and it clears out. It is quite wonderful. And then everything else that's cured, I get your ability of just removing everything off the space.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we used throughout the game. And I was like, all right, if we get through this round without like blank, blank, or blank coming up, we still got a lot of outbreaks left. We should totally be fine. And thankfully, we were totally fine.
There you go. Nice.
It was a solid. I was like, man, I haven't played a fucking base ass game of Pandemic in many years.
All about that bass. About that bass.
So after that, would you still just rather play Iberia?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because Iberia adds enough nuances into the game to make it interesting as just like a base game.
Yeah.
Even without the like individual like realistic viruses or the patients thing. It's
Makes sense.
like Iberia, I think, is still
You
the
could-
best base game of Pandemic that
And
exists.
And you would never not need to, like, you don't have to introduce someone to Pandemic first and then introduce them to that. You can just introduce them straight to that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just so you know, if anyone listening owns a base game of Pandemic, just throw it in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. You never need to play it. Because it's terrible.
Someone came up to me at D-Bolt and was like, hey, like 4 weeks ago when game night was at Westfax, I left Pandemic and something else. I don't remember what the other game was. They're like, I really only care about the other game. I don't actually care about Pandemic.
Oh, it was Mysterium, yeah.
Mysterium. Yeah.
I care about Mysterium. I don't care about Pandemic.
I would like Mysterium back.
And then after that, I played some Seven Wonders Duel, also on Tabletop Simulator. Very good scripted.
Did you do any of the expansions for that one?
No, just the base
Okay.
game.
So I'm assuming you got them trapped in that thing that can happen in Duel where they always have to take the shitty cards because it's the pattern. Whatever.
No, not quite.
Okay.
I actually ended up losing at that
You
game.
got caught in the pattern.
I ended up with a ton of money at the end of the game.
Is money worth points?
Money is worth points.
Okay, then that's fine.
3 to 1. So
Okay.
I got like probably too many points off of that. But I went hard military, and then they were just able to like pull the right military cards to kind of creep me back enough to where I was like, well, I went hard military, and then you went anti-military, and now I'm fucked.
Rough.
Yeah. They got all their wonders, all 4 of their wonders built before I built my 3. So it was like 57-59. It was super close. And I was like, oh, and you've won. And I've played this game dozens of times. But the scripted version on Tabletop Simulator is very good because it has like 2 halves of where all your cards are, and you just hit scoring at the bottom, and it knows where your cards are and how to score them, and you just score, and it fucking scores, and you don't have to add anything up.
That's pretty cool.
It's super cool. I was like, I think I hit this button and it scores, boop, and I was like, and you won. And then we played some Codenames Duet. Codenames Duet
Also
is actually
very good. It's
very
good.
difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not easy to win.
I need to get a copy because I
It's
know
good.
Megan would like it. Megan's never played
It has a very good browser-based implementation at like Codenames dot whatever. Like you can just play Codenames online. You don't even need a copy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
you
I've heard.
still maybe needed it.
No, you can just they have a full free online version
That's
that has
awesome.
all the
I love when
expansions
companies
on
do
there.
shit like that.
Yeah. Check Games Edition. I picked up the expansions for Codenames at Gen Con because they had free promos. And I was like, oh, I own Codenames and I'll take all these little card packs because they have like a board games one. They have a Through the Ages Codenames pack. And you could add any of those in there. And I was like, whatever. But yeah, Codenames Duet, still super cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
Lost. We got real close. They got all of my cards, and then I had 2 from theirs, and it got to the like sudden death version.
Oh yeah.
And then like after I clicked, it basically as soon as you get one wrong, it's like, and I was like, oh, these 2 cards because it was tiny, and it was Chance and Mini, and I was like, fuck, I'm an idiot.
What was the clue?
Tiny.
Oh, tiny.
And then the cards were Mini and Chance. Tiny, Chance, Mini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right.
And then I got all the Cartographer's Hero stuff in. It looks really cool, and I look forward to playing it soon.
Didn't you say it comes with colored?
It comes with colored pencils. It comes
That's
with
awesome.
a ton of colored pencils. It's probably enough for like each player to have like 1 up to 4 players, probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I look forward to playing it. It's like 4 new bundles of
Map things.
Yeah.
Nice.
Starter
and
maps.
then the new starter cards, new
Oh, awesome.
tiles, or new scoring cards, tiles, everything.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
I look forward to trying out next week.
Yeah, I definitely would be down to try it out.
Because no
sometime.
one's going to be at game night this week because they're all in
BGG. Only Zach.
Only me.
Tejas? What about
Tejas, yes.
Tejas?
Yep.
Tejas. And I think that's all I played.
Cool.
Besides Forza Horizon 5, which I played a fuckload.
That's not surprising.
I played Tricarion at game night. I'm not going to really talk much about it. I was not happy.
It played like Tricarion.
It played very long. There were some maybe raised voices and some tensions. And then I gave V anxiety because she tried to talk to me after I finished Tricarion, and I was trying to come home because I had to be at work at 5:30 in the morning, and I was upset. And she could sense that. And I was like, yeah, no, it's just I have to be at work early and I want to get out of here. And she was like, oh, well, I'm sorry that like the first thing I said to you was, hey, Adrian, this place we go, I don't like it. And here's all the reasons why. And then, so yeah, she messaged me later and she was like, I hope you don't hate me for that. I'm sorry that I made your night more stressful. It's like, you didn't. You're fine. Of all the things that made my night stressful,
Yeah.
You're fine. I did not make any good trucks or tricks for that matter.
No.
Or illusions or any of those things. I did very bad. I thought I was doing good at the very beginning, and then it just fell apart.
And then you started playing, and then that
Yeah.
Then that illusion was shattered.
However, what I do want to talk about and what I have thoroughly enjoyed is Descent, Legends of the Dark, the new super fancy Descent from Fantasy Flight. So Zach had clued me into Wizard Chess having a copy of this way the shit back. I got it. And I just kind of arbitrarily, I don't remember what night it was, but I think it was Friday. Like, we didn't end up doing a stream. And I was like, Megan, would you want to play a game? She's like, sure, what game? I said, I want to play this Descent game. And she was a little like, okay. And then we played it, and she fucking loved it.
Oh, good.
We both really liked it. The app is super great.
Yep.
I wish it had a little bit more voicing.
As long as you can like have a shared screen, I think.
Yeah.
Where were you guys playing here?
Yeah, we played here, and I threw it up on both monitors. I turned both monitors to it so that like she sits where you sit, Zach, and so she had a better look at this monitor, and I sat where Jeff sat, and he had a better look at that monitor. We might, I think, in the future just play like across from each other. It's kind of nice playing side by side. Like, we can have all the resources like in a pool in the middle. Where we play 2 heroes each, so we play with the full 4 heroes, and it is good. And
so you did four-handed?
Yeah. Or 2 players, 2-handed each.
Yeah.
Each 2-handed.
Yeah.
Like you guys talked about how awesome the multi-level terrain was. It is so fucking cool. Like I was like, man, that sounds pretty cool. And then wow, like it's a whole
wow.
It really
wow.
It really brings you in.
Yeah. Megan was like, wow, I wish D&D could do this. And I was like, well, technically it can.
For probably a lot more money than that.
Well, and I've been thinking of like starting to just take all that terrain with me when I go do D&D.
Would you like to watch this thing called Dimension 20? Here you go.
Yeah. Let me show you all of the mini things with many different minis and terrain, especially.
Yes.
Like, same thing. Like, man, watch Critical Role sometimes. Like, Matt Mercer pulls out some fucking crazy big terrain things. Like, yeah, some people who have the time and the inclination to build terrain
and
have
studio
awesome
backing.
That does not hurt.
Yes.
And money and time.
Yeah.
Money and time are the two big ones. There's lots of people who do it without studio backing.
Plebeians to make all of those things.
I mean, there's huge like tutorials on how to like make stuff out of cardboard, like pizza boxes. Like,
that's been around for decades.
Like for as long as D&D's been around, people have been making.
Oh yes, 50 plus years.
So, I definitely am going to turn at least certainly when we're finished with Descent, I'll probably start taking it as a terrain box. But no, it's really cool. I love the only thing I wish I wish it had a way to track where the monsters were on the board.
But then you wouldn't need the game.
Yeah. There's no way out.
You still need the game for your minis.
But then you're only one step away from. Yeah. Well, why don't they just have both of them on there? And then I don't even need to buy the $175 game.
Because the monsters go to where you are, you would have to be on there in order for them to track it, unless it was you like physically moving them to where it says to move them.
Yeah.
But that's adding too much.
Then you're just playing the app, and they are trying to ride a fine line.
Yes.
Look, the one thing it does add that's really cool is that you can do a line of sight. You can choose any square, and you can see
that is super useful.
So you can use that where they are on the actual game, and then use that in relation to, oh, they can see me here, they can't see me here, I can see them, that sort of stuff.
Oh, we've definitely already gamed the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I like the way...
should anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the monsters, like the same monster, even in two different scenarios, might play a little bit different.
Yeah.
They might have different abilities or different like features or do different things.
Reactions.
I like that there's a bunch of like different like potential effects. Like, you can like get a special like haft on one of your weapons, and now like 10% of the time you might add a different effect. And like, so it has a lot of stuff that is hard to do in a board game that has like always been really common in like RPGs and stuff, like the crafting and all of that. And that's super awesome.
I was a little worried that it would feel a little random for those sort of things, but it of like you're trying to do something and you're like, I didn't proc, I fucked up. But it's like when you approach it with the like, here's the base we're doing, and when that shit happens, it's like, oh yeah, something extra happened versus it not happening when you're wanting it to, if that makes sense. So, What characters? What's your favorite character you've played? Or which two characters are you playing? I know you can switch them, but like, what are your?
Yeah, so in the tutorial, you only have the 4 base characters to choose from. So I was the like hybrid, the dragon-y guy.
Yep.
And I was the wizard with the fireballs.
Okay.
Megan was the like holy warrior with the giant wing helmet.
Avenger.
With the most breakable neck and the fucking helmet.
And the archer guy.
Yeah.
The archer elf.
Mr. No Fun, yeah.
Mr. No Fun, yeah. So that was our one for the tutorial. Which the tutorial was interesting because I thought it was going to be a lot shorter, and it was like, wait, it's still going. It's still going.
The tutorial is like, hey, here's how the entire game works. We're going to show you how to use everything. So,
we're just going to go from here.
Yeah,
this is how you jump down from terrain.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We've done one mission after the tutorial, and that one we had to take the dwarf. The little like dwarf artificer.
Yeah.
And so I took the artificer in place of the wizard. So I was still the dragon spear guy. And I was the artificer. And Megan played the same too.
Bell wielder.
Yeah. Yep. Ding dong. Ding dong. Although I never use his bell because his spear has reach.
Yeah.
Which is great. Except for wolves, which completely negate reach.
Yeah. The fucking rules. Yeah.
Fuck you, rules.
Wolves.
Yeah. When we play, we have 3. It's me, Jeff, Paul, and I, and we each have basically 2 characters, and whichever character you have to take, we swap out for.
Okay.
But otherwise, like my main one is the Chance, which you haven't played yet.
Oh, the cat. Yeah,
the cat.
No, we haven't played Chance yet.
No, Jeff's is the dwarf, right? And then Paul's is the arrow dude. And then my backup one's the dragon if we need it. His is the paladin, and then Paul's is the wizard
Avenger.
dude.
Oh, the
wizard.
the-
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Avenger. Yeah, Avenger is Jeff's one.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I'm a Avenger dwarf.
Yeah. We're gonna play again tomorrow. Like, we don't have anything going on tomorrow night. We're gonna play again tomorrow. We might play again like Wednesday. Yes, the bower.
Arrow dude, bower. He's
Yep.
also an elf, so
Yeah.
also dual wield blade man.
he's also
Mhm.
deaf. So yeah,
I always forget he's deaf because he doesn't actually act like he's ever deaf.
Because he's very good at lip reading.
yeah.
Extremely good.
Extremely.
So good at feeling the vibrations in the air that he feels demons.
I have not gotten that far.
Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing.
But
And-
yeah,
and once again, he's just no fun at all.
Also a big downer.
The biggest downer.
Yeah,
we're gonna go do the kitty cat mission, the kitty's
Nice.
starting mission next time.
That's mine. He's a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, because of the way we already split it up, like I feel like the cat's gonna be on Megan's, but I was looking through like his action stuff and how like he works with like the shadow cards, and I was like, fuck,
Yep.
that dude seems awesome.
Yeah.
So I might have to steal him from Megan occasionally. Yeah, packing it is a trick. Back in the box, especially with all the terrain assembled.
take the wings off the
I
dragon.
definitely did, 100%.
Yes. To make sure you tell Zach that again.
Zach, take the wings off the dragon.
No, I'm fine. You don't have to. You can store it all in with it in there. So it's just a little.
It's only 10 times harder.
Yeah.
What helped me was I took out the whole other like tray that's the 3-part boss because I have the special boss, the one with the wash. Which Megan was like, "Aren't these the same?" Like she put the one
Yes.
together. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're playing. I need to put this one together." And then she set it down. She's like, "Aren't
Yes.
these the same?"
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, they are."
Yes, you probably
As
don't
are
need.
these cards are the same.
Yes, you probably don't need to touch that for
Ever.
We haven't touched them yet.
6 to 8 weeks.
Have you had to touch
No.
the
No.
bone dragon?
No.
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, super excited to play some more. Gonna play it
It's
tomorrow.
good. It's
It's
very
good.
good. So far, so good.
Yeah. Missions go longer than I would expect in that
About
one.
2.5 has been what ours have been running.
Yeah. Like
With
with
3 players, we've been 90 minutes.
with Lord of the Rings, like in a lot of times we would do like 2 to 3 missions, except for like the last couple.
Yeah.
They've just been super long. But on this one, on Descent, it was like 1, maybe 2.
Have you done anything where you've played through a mission more than once? Like, have you played like on somebody else's, or like have you tried to?
No.
I'm curious how unique that, like how, if there's any random gen to the missions.
I could only suspect the layout changes.
Because the starting, like the first 2 turns of the tutorial,
I would say the
tutorial
tutorial is going
seems
to be
like
the
it's
same.
probably exactly
Yeah,
the
the
same.
tutorial is going to be the same. Yeah.
But I might have to like speed run through, like just pretend to do through a.
I would assume that to an extent they're similar, just because they don't feel like they've been made.
Planned.
They've been planned. Yes. So
the first mission for the dwarf with lots of fire involved.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me how often the enemies.
Did you finish that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you not finish it? Is there an option?
No,
to not?
I just didn't know if you. I just wanted to make sure you had finished
okay.
it, or you had started it,
Yeah.
just to be like, what, dwarf? What did you do to that golem? Like, what did you make it special?
Oh, the first one was I think they were both fortitude. They were both the fortitude options.
We
'Cause
made
you make the decision twice.
we made ours like fast.
So the second
and-
one you can make it fast or sturdy. The
made
first
it-
one you can make it.
We did sturdy.
I think we made it sturdy and fast or something like that. I
I can't remember.
All I
Yeah.
know is it was. We didn't want to get touched by that thing because it would have wrecked us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of them has like fast and sturdy, and the other
Oh.
one has strong and something.
Strong and reach, or something like that. Like it can
Durable.
No.
So because one of them. So I think
It was the armor.
The
thing.
first one is either damage or armor.
Yeah.
The other one is either speed or health.
Yeah.
So I did armor and health.
I'm sure that was exciting.
Yep.
It was fine.
Ours kept throwing boulders and being really fast at throwing boulders.
Yeah.
Boulders, but the boulders had shit range. Like for me, it was pretty easy to kite.
I think ours had like a fiver on that one at some point.
Maybe
a 5 range.
Yeah. Like I said, I think one of the things was like increased range or increased
Maybe
speed.
speed added to its range or something. I don't know.
Something bad happened every once. Something bad happened every once in a while.
But I do love that choice of like you get to choose how you get fucked up by. So
that's one thing that seems a little unbalanced. So like at the end of the tutorial, the 4 base characters each have 2 on their decisions. You've made 2 decisions. Then we did the dwarf person's mission, and by the end of it, the dwarf had like fucking 6 decisions. They made so many. They made like 4 decisions before it ever started.
They have to make up for the tutorial decisions and whatever the first mission decisions are.
Because there's like the tutorial, the first mission, and
because
then
they have a deficit of
a deficit,
deficits of missions they do, so they have to make up for it in those missions.
They only had one. They only had the tutorial
behind,
like, and potentially, I guess, depending. So now we have 2 options. We can do a mission for the mage, or we can do a mission to get the cat, which we're going to do the cat, so we have all 6. But like nobody else has gotten a decision in the dwarf one, so the dwarf is way ahead. They're like 4 or 5.
Yeah, but we don't really know everything that means yet.
True.
So it's
I don't think we've even seen what it means at all.
The dwarf has also dominated on the feats. Like they completed 2 of their feats in its mission.
That seems really nice.
I've done a lot of my feats too as Chance, mostly because a lot of his are like do things that don't really directly help everybody else. It's just sort of something that you want to do. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just go around fucking with shit. I'll be the first person to go around seeing what's going on. Yeah.
Like the dwarf's first one was just act first on each turn. And so Megan was just like, there's very few times when someone specifically needs to go first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy to be like, all right, dwarf, go first.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. So far, only the dwarf and only the guardian Avenger girl have found new weapons. They both have new weapons. Everybody has some add-ons. We've crafted a bunch of add-on stuff. But anyway, I think that's enough about Descent.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It's really fun. I like it a lot. I'm super excited to play more. Zach, what about you? What have you played?
A couple things I played. One, I tried out the new Crew game, Deep Sea Mission, I believe, which is a sequel to Deep Space Mission of the Crew. It plays the same, but the only thing new in this edition is the cards that give you the requirements to beat each round. So those changed. Previously, it had a bunch of like tokens about going. So in Deep Sea or Deep Space, it had tokens like saying what needed to get picked first or last, or these had to be sequential or something like that. This one, it changed it up. Now it only matters what level you're doing, because the cards on the back of them have different numbers on there depending on how many people you're playing with, and that sort of gives you the difficulty. So if it's a difficulty of 6 and you draw like 6 ones, then you have 6 different things, but they're all fairly easy. Or you draw 2 3s, or you draw 4 to 2, and that's only 2 of them, but like the 4 is harder.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a lot more varied in what you have to do, which is good. So like some of them are like previously it was just listing off actual cards that you had to like win the trick on.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like you can't, like one is like you have to win as many yellows as you do greens on this trick.
Oh.
Or you have to win more pinks than blue overall, or I'm not going to win the first 3 tricks, or I'm only going to win the last trick.
That's in the base one, and that seems like one of the hardest.
Yeah.
Like, this person can only win the final trick, and it's like, you can get so card fucked.
Yes, you can.
On just not being able to do that. Like, that's tricky.
Yeah. But, it still plays like it, but it added just new variation in those cards, and I liked it. And so I would definitely say, between the two, I would probably just suggest getting the Deep Sea one.
When you've played the Crew, technically in the rules of the Crew, you are allowed to look through the entire previously taken tricks.
Yeah.
In the deep, you're only supposed to look at the most recent taken trick.
That sounds right. And I had thought that it was just that both times.
Okay, so you hadn't been playing with
No.
so it didn't feel like a restriction.
No.
Because it's always been the thing that I'm curious about is like, that seems like one of the biggest changes.
Yeah.
That I'm curious if that's going to turn some people off, where they're like, it's suddenly so much harder.
One thing it did change was you could sort of pass in the beginning when you're trying to assign tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on if there are less tricks out than there are people, then you could pass. Like if you didn't want it, but like you could pass a little bit, but then at some point someone's gonna have to take them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good because we had a couple times where it was like, especially if we were playing with 3 people, they were like we'd get 2 like real hard ones, and you're like, I don't know which I could sort of take both of these, but I'm not super equipped to do either. And so it was nice to be able to like pass, because then like one person was like, because there's one of the like, you can't win any ones, and Wes passed, but I had 3 of the ones in my hand, so I knew I could take that one and just throw those out as I needed.
Yeah.
But he might have maybe he would have taken that one or one, so it was nice to just give you a little bit more flexibility there.
Awesome.
So we played that. I played another round of Arkham Horror. We did the scenario, The Key in the Gate.
Was this your trip up to Fort Collins?
Yes, but we didn't go there.
It was very north where they played, actually.
Yes. Cocopelli. It's because Pat got he had like a sore throat or something, and that's the reason we were going up there. So I was like,
Paul had to go to Fort Collins.
He also did not have to go there anymore. So yeah,
because he had to pick up a thing,
and then they sold out or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It didn't matter anymore.
No.
And then he messaged me, and he was like, "Come play Arkham Horror," and I was like, "I'm watching Formula One."
What time was it that you did this? Was it 11-ish?
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
You were working.
Well, no, but I so they were doing the clean room was shut down for the first half of work, and so I was like almost I had typed out the message like, "Hey, Paul, do you want to go get sandwich at that deli that's down by my work?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh wait, no, he's all the way in fucking Fort Collins."
Yeah.
If I'd known y'all were at Cocopelli by, I don't know, maybe you might not have been done anywhere near 1.
No.
I don't know.
We got there at 11:15 and we finished at 2:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm back to feeling okay.
Yeah, exactly.
About my decisions.
But this was another new scenario. It's from the newest expansion. Don't know the name. But
is it snakes?
Nope. It's not snakes. It's not snakes, thankfully. But this
we'll
one
get to snakes sooner or later.
Yeah. I mean, look, that was the last one of Mansions of Madness. So
and Eldritch, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
That was like the ruins.
Yeah.
one.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
But this one involved our good old friend Yogg-Sothoth.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
He was trying to break down the barriers of the world and come in
between dimensions.
Yeah, weird.
Oh my
God!
That
never happened.
No, but this one had a lot of interesting mechanics in it that was nice. One, early on, we had to find a bunch of elders of the Twilight Lodge, Twilight Silver Lodge.
Silver Twilight Lodge.
Which it's Lodge of the Twilight Silvers.
Yes.
And good old Carl Sanford was there, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to do some things." And then anytime we tried to ask him a question, he was basically like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just do these things. It's okay."
Amazing.
It's like, all right, why do we need to close this thing? And he's like, "You'll find this out once you find all of the elders." So we started looking for some of them, and this one, we took cards from the codex and you put them directly on top of the neighborhood decks, which is good because we knew they're there unless you didn't get there this turn, and then you added a clue to that neighborhood, and then that shit got shuffled up, and we're like, God damn it. But
you just got to spend some time in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Early on, I was Dexter, the magician, and I was given an option to get a dark pack to basically get a healing spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this seems pretty cool. Yeah, of course I'll do it. And then on the first reckoning, what do? I roll a 1.
You die.
And then I was devoured. Yes, immediately.
Yes, you were immediately
if
devoured.
not sooner, I got that deck called. And so I switched to an old lady. She had this cool ability that she could spend 2 remnants when you would draw a mythos from the bag.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that. You just spawn a clue instead. So you could actually delay that. It only took me about the 4th turn to remember to do that.
I see. Yes.
I mean,
as is most games of Arkham.
And I only had about 13 remnants on me. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of remnants.
One every time my character had any horror.
Well then,
I was able to get focused and I got a remnant.
Okay.
And then Paul was just murdering monsters left and right, and so he had like 6 or 7 that he gave to me.
Okay.
And then he ended up dying later. But
a lot of devouring happening.
That one was just straight up monster. The problem if you have just one person going around fighting monsters is
and then
we had a lot of monsters that were like, oh hey, I'm at the other side of the map. I'm just gonna go directly to you and attack you, and everything, it was like, oh, who has the lowest lore? It was Paul. Who has the highest strength? It was Paul. Who has the most clues? It was Paul.
Way to do everything, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
And not heal yourself.
And not heal himself. Like a fool. If only there was a magician who could heal you. But halfway through, we connected to a new tile appeared through a portal that you connected to the board, and it was called the Underworld. And we had to find the key in the Underworld, which we found. And then it gave us a choice. It's like, hey, you can use that key and you can lock that gate. We had to spend some clues.
Would you say you could lock it in?
Yes. But you had to go around to all of these different or any of the unstable spaces, and then you had to spend clues to move them onto a sheet. And then like once you did that like 4 times, because you needed 4 clues, then you successfully locked the gate. But also because we were not done with Sander, like we didn't find all the elders, like we still didn't really know what was going on, and so it gave us an option. It was like, man, I don't think Sanford knows what he's talking about. I bet like if we had the power, then we could use it for good.
Oh.
And so it was like
it's a one ring situation.
Yeah, it was like you could also take control of the gate. And then instead of having to move all around, it was like, hey, you can just spend a clue and take a dark pact. And then at the end of a reckoning, if there were 4 dark pacts out, you could flip the card. And it specifically let you take more than 1 dark pack, which you're not able to do. So we all looked at it and we're like, I've never trusted these guys. Fuck it, I bet we could do better than they could. And so we ended up putting 7 clues on the scenario sheet. So we're like, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Everyone's getting 2 dark packs. That way, if one person dies, then we're still fine. So we had a reckoning show up. We rolled the dice. 2 of the dark packs end up popping off. So like it was good for us to have extra in that regard.
Yeah.
And luckily it was not you were killed or you had to choose somebody else to die. And then you flip over the card and we got it. We won. It was funny is that it's everyone who has a dark pact wins the game. So
I see.
So if Wes had both of his pop and mine did but we were still at 4, then Paul and I would have won the game, but Wes would have not. So, but it's
what you're saying is you are the captain now.
Exactly. Yeah,
okay.
It was 100%. Okay. It was like you're using this knowledge for good. Like perfect knowledge. You can plan all of these things now. It was cool that I hadn't seen them offer a choice like that in the game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We never knew if they were actually telling the truth or not. If he actually had something more planned, or they were being super truthful,
right?
And so it's nice that there's different avenues in that one.
It adds a variant to the scenario where you could go back and be like, what if we did better at the game and could do this other route through the game.
Indeed.
Their expansions have just been getting better.
Yeah, a lot of those new expansions have been like, this expansion is doing stuff that I haven't seen in...
It's pulling a lot more from like the
LCG.
Card game. Yeah, in terms of those branching narratives, which is good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like turn a whole campaign into this one scenario.
Yeah. Last game I played was The Night Cage.
Yeah.
Which is a game that Wes and I...
Great Star Trek episode.
Wes and I played it at Gen Con. Not Gen Con,
Geekway. Wes and I saw it at Gen Con, and we're like, oh, I wonder, this might be cool. And then he ended up playing it, and then he was like, oh, I liked it. And so Leander was at Strange and was like, hey, you want to play this? And so, yeah. So we had some newish people come in, and so we played 2 games of it. The first one was very much a sort of learning-ish game of it. Especially because we realized at the end that there was one fewer key tile in there than there should have been. Oops. So we're like, that didn't count. All right, we're going to do it again. And we actually played 5 players on the second time. It was a cool little like cooperative game. Did you talk about it at all? When
I think a little bit, but it was one of those where I was droning on and on about a dozen games.
Yes.
So go ahead and talk about it a little bit here.
So it's a cooperative game. You get dropped into this board. You have you're in the game. You're naked, just with a candle. And
very Kingdom Death.
Yes. And whichever tile you're on, there are different routes you can take, and any of those routes you can see the spaces adjacent to it.
One tile away. But then when you move away, if that tile is no longer illuminated, it's removed from the game. So it's always like just different corridors and such keep disappearing, that sort of thing. And monsters keep fucking around. If monsters see you and then you move, like they attack you, or they attack the line where you were, or actually any line that they can see, they just attack outwards. So if someone else gets caught in that, then they're attacked. But then also, if they see a monster, then they're going to attack that monster, and then it like chains, and it could get real shitty, because if you get attacked, then you lose tiles, and tiles are basically the clock, the running clock for this game. And your candle is no longer illuminated, so you're just walking blind. You can't see anything next to you. I think you like just flip the tile you're moving to. I think it is. And good fucking luck.
Now, if you end up next to somebody,
they can relight your candle.
And that does mean that you can get hit. And if you're next to somebody, you immediately relight, which is good, but you still take the damage. But you're searching around for keys. And once you find a key, you can give that to somebody else if you end up finding it later, but you can only hold one key, so you can't like hoard them. But tiles, once again, when you move away from them, they disappear. So if I find a key in the middle of nowhere and no one's near me, I want to try and like stay around until like someone could actually come get it, because everybody needs to have a key and then find another type of tile called a gate. And then once all of you are on the same gate, then you can leave.
Yeah.
We ended up winning on the second one with like 2 tiles left. And what I mean by that is once you run out of tiles, the main tile counter basically, then you start taking tiles off the board. In addition to when you remove them, but you also move lit tiles too. And so it's just slowly shrinking. And then if someone's ever cut off, or not everybody has a key or anything like that, then you lose. But we were able to all get to a gate in turn and win. It was a fun cooperative game. I liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We messed up a little bit towards the end. We forgot to discard the tiles when we got monster attacked. But we didn't get monster attacked until right at the end. And it was a situation where like the last 6 tiles, I think, had like 4 monsters. So by not discarding, we actually made ourselves get hit with more monsters and have more dark candles. We barely won. And it was the same thing. It was like maybe 1 or 2 more turns, and then there would have been too many tiles cut out. But no, it was really good. It was
halfway through on our second one, we had all the monsters discarded from the board. So it was good at least to count, to know that. To be like, all right, this is the last tile of those, so we don't have to worry about running into a monster now, but we just got to find these fucking keys.
Yeah.
So
cool.
No, I liked it. It was a good cooperative gun. I'd definitely play it again. There's a lot. It can get a lot more difficult, which is cool. There's a lot of tiles we didn't use, so I'm curious to see what those would do.
Yeah. Nice.
You take candle?
No candle for you?
Take candle.
Take
yeah,
candle. Yes.
The monsters are like wax eaters or something, is I think what they're called.
Take candle.
Yes.
And yeah, they
kobold.
They come, and so they don't actually hurt you. They just fuck up your candle.
Well, take candle. It's a World of Warcraft
It is.
reference.
Yeah.
The kobolds all have candles on their heads because they're miners.
I remember you making that joke when I talked about this game.
Yeah. You know, take candle.
But yeah, that's it for what I have played.
Cool. Well, that wraps up what we've been playing, which wraps up the board game. This portion of the board games. We'll come back to board games and news and Kickstarter. But we're going to have a little banter break where we're going to talk about not board game related things. Jeff, how about you talk about Forza while I go get another beer?
Forza Horizon 5 continues to be good. That's it.
There's got to be more.
That's it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a racing game, and you level up, and then there's racing happening, and there's not much more to do. It's definitely my chill game of like, I'm gonna play this and go really fast. I got a car. I got the car.
Mm-hmm.
You can only get it in the Eliminator. The Eliminator is the battle royale of Forza Horizon 5.
Okay, how many is it? Like actual player elimination?
Yes.
Okay.
50 people.
Okay.
Dropped into the entire map.
Okay.
You can see them on the radar. You have to get close to them. You start in a VW bug, like a 1972 VW.
Okay.
And there are drones that you can upgrade cars. And the drones are more around cities.
Okay.
So they're like equipment pickups. And the VW bug is a 1. The car range goes to 10. So you can get, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the pickups go to like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Okay.
And they'll have like, green, blue, purple, yellow, quality wise.
Mm-hmm.
But your goal is to like get close to someone, you honk to challenge them, then it gives you both a point to race to in the open world. Whoever gets there first eliminates the other one, then you can upgrade your car by 1 tier.
Oh, okay.
Or you can take their car. So if they had like a better car and you won, you could be like, Matt, that's mine.
Okay, I was wondering how to do it. I remember when I played one of the Forza games, I don't remember.
Probably 4.
I don't think it was Horizon, it was it might have just been like a Forza, like not.
Oh,
yeah,
like just the racing game.
Yes,
not the one in the UK.
No.
Okay.
Well, it was the one. It was one that had whichever one had the Top Gear track. I don't remember which one it was.
I do not know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the modes they had on there was basically a zombie mode, and that one was you just had to stay away from people.
Yeah.
And then I was curious to see how the battle royale one would, and that one makes more sense in the sense of you're actually eliminating people. I was like, well, you can't shoot anybody in this.
Yeah,
but it's just that zombie.
It's a race.
Yeah,
it's a race.
So that seems cool.
Yeah, and then when you get to the top 12, then it just puts a mark out on the. So and then it has a circle that shrinks down and compacts everyone.
Yeah,
and then when you get to the top 12, it'll just put a mark out on the map somewhere. It'll drop the barrier, and then you just all fucking race to that
and then
point.
And whoever's
there first, and then you'll get 1 through 12 ranking based on how close you were to that final mark.
Oh, that's cool.
I've gotten multiple number 2s. I was number 1 by like a fucking hottest second, because he was slower than me, and I was on the road. He was going off road.
Oh,
and I was going many hundreds of miles an hour down that fucking road right at the point.
Yep.
But he was just off road and able to just kind of cut the corner enough in his like off road truck to get the point, like just as I was just going by, bow, like a fucking bullet.
But then he just like stabbed
like a fairly big.
No, it's like pinpoint. You got to touch it. Yeah. And he was just able to off road onto it as I was fucking charging hard down the street.
Do you have to touch like the point on the street where it is, or like just over, like, well, because I'm just imagining somebody accidentally jumps over it.
I think you have to be on the point. I don't think you can launch.
It's not like a pillar that if you hit the pillar.
I think you have to be like on the point.
Gotcha.
So you have to hit the point. You can't just be like, I've gone 180 miles in the air over it. Type ordeal.
I might need to try that out.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I
just got a new 34-inch ultra widescreen monitor, so
it looks great. It's a great game. And I've been playing a lot of Eliminator. It's fun.
Nice.
It's super fun. It's just kind of one of those like, I'm gonna queue up for Eliminator, and But there are some server issues
right.
where I'm like not seeing anyone for like a whole match, and I'll suddenly just be like, someone has challenged you. And I was like, what the fuck? Who is what? I'm racing, and and each time that's happened,
Question: if you don't see anybody, but like. Could you accidentally run into them or something?
No,
okay.
I have no idea where they were from.
Okay.
It was just like, blank has challenged you. And I was like, I have to go that way now. Pedal. Because there's because there's a radar, and it has like a system where you can like hide in a bush almost, where you won't appear on the radar if you're standing still. But you can still be seen like visually. But I mean, when everyone's flying around a huge like open world outdoor area, it's hard to see like, what's the fucking, it's the Bronco over there or whatever. But I've just kind of been playing through the main game. It's sort of just do races.
Yeah.
I just finished the Luchador storyline because it's all set in Mexico. So
Okay.
It was like a car luchador where it's in like a big stadium and you're like doing ramps and shit and be like, oh, you're fighting because you're racing. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. But you were in luchador outfits and then you unlocked a luchador outfit. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Forza 5. Great. It's a great game. Great game. Love it.
Nice.
I don't have much in the way of video games. I'm in a lull having finished Horizon Zero Dawn. I tried Days Gone. And it's okay, but it just didn't quite grab me. And then Megan and I have been playing Dying Light a bit, waiting for Dying Light 2 to come out.
Inevitably.
So hopefully someday.
I think it got announced like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Its first trailer was like 6 years
I
ago.
know. There's at least now like a dev diary that like it's actually moving along and they actually reveal stuff and it's a countdown.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. We still really enjoy Dying Light, so we're fine waiting another year or two. But yeah, parkour zombies, lots of fun.
Yeah, I played the original, fantastic game.
It's really tricky sometimes the way like Megan and I, the games we like to play together, like our overlap is in the games we play together, right? So like
your Venn diagram.
Yeah, our Venn diagram. Thank you. That's the phrase.
Yes, I understood.
It's tricky then because it means that sometimes like if I'm not playing with Megan, I'll usually play something outside of that overlap of the diagram. But then when we play together, we play in the diagram. And so like I'm constantly jumping back and forth between control schemes, even for very similar games. Like so for a while I was playing like Horizon Zero Dawn and Dying Light at the same time. And like Dying Light, you can like run and climb all over all sorts of shit. And like really fluidly. Not so much in like
Look, as long as it's clearly marked, you can do whatever you want in that. All right.
I definitely would get stuck on like a 2-inch tall log on Horizon Zero Dawn occasionally. Go to dodge away from a Thunderjaw and just get fucking trucked when you get stuck on a tree you didn't even see.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of video games. I played a Xbox Games Pass one called Unpacking.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. I heard it's a very chill game.
Super chill. I liked it. I got all the achievements.
It's about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours.
Megan, speaking of the Venn diagram, so I installed it. I played through it. I played through about half of it. I jumped on. I saw that Megan had been playing, like, because I hit continue and it jumped on. I was like, this isn't where I was. And backed out. So, oh, Megan had a save. Then she came home from work and she went downstairs and she was doing something. She goes, oh, yeah, by the way, I saw this game Unpacking that you installed. It's fucking stupid. I was like, I'm glad you don't pull punches, Megan.
Yeah.
You weren't like, hey, Adrian, what do you think about this? And I was like, oh, I really like it. And you're like, oh, I didn't care for it. You're just like, hey, Adrian, I saw you install this game. It fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks, and people who like it are dumbasses.
Yeah.
And then, like, she just looks at you in a knowing way of, like, I know you like this game, and you're worse. You are a worse person because of it.
You are fucking worthless.
I have lost respect for you.
Yes, yeah.
I played through the whole thing. It had like a nice little story because you're just like kind of moving and you're unpacking kind of that same item.
Yeah, you
over
see
and
a scene
over.
item a few times. I wish you'd shown like where, like you know, some of the like little toys, stuffed toys were like clearly the same ones from like childhood to like, you know, having your own child. And it'd been kind of cool if they showed them like a little bit of more wear and stuff.
They did.
I didn't notice.
Yes.
I didn't notice
there was.
that.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go to check it again.
Yeah.
I think they just added It Takes Two to the Game Pass.
They did.
You if you haven't tried it, you should play it.
I want to do that one. We really like, speaking of like the 2-player co-op on the same console games, Mordred a while ago. We played that. And it's like a weird one where it's like a ball of light. You're like two shadow people pushing a ball of light.
Oh, no.
And it does some really cool stuff where like the control scheme's kind of tricky to where you have to like awkwardly work together to push a ball, but it's like doing it in real life where like you could easily over push and your partner can't catch it and things like that. And then there's parts where one person has to push it and somebody else can go on a chain of lights to like activate a switch and that kind of stuff. It was really cool. And I like those. It's really nice. It takes me back to like my childhood to be able to play like a cooperative or even competitive game on
Local.
I think is why I like board games so much. It reminds me of that.
May I not
social
recommend Pandemic on any platform?
Thank you.
Yes.
For that.
Except physical or tabletop simulator.
I will continue to play
Okay, good.
Not base Pandemic ever again.
Well, I mean, they have the expansions in there. It's just only single player.
Also,
It's only single player.
also will pass then.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad.
The app, the tablet app, is pass and play up to 4 players. So that's nice.
You could probably do pass and play on the PC version if you really wanted to.
But that's still just local. So
That's still just...
Yeah. Zach, any games you wanted to job out a little bit, or
Have you beaten Inscription yet?
No, I haven't played it anymore since then.
Fuck you.
Yeah. As I said, the trust was broken. So
I'm upset.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm still playing Guardians of the Galaxy. It's still real good. Definitely check it out at some point, Adrian.
I would like to.
That's I disassembled and then assembled a new computer desk and then put my new monitor on top of it. That's basically all I've done. So,
Did you get the Secret Labs desk?
no.
Okay, good.
Is it not good?
Fucking
It's
boy.
like $600.
Oh no, fuck that.
Yeah.
No. And by assemble that, what I technically mean is that I actually built it many months ago,
Uh-huh.
the desk, but then I had the other desk that I was going to get rid of, and I finally got rid of it today or this weekend.
It's like, why
So-
use the new desk when I have the old desk
Yes.
right here?
Exactly. I was also using the new desk for like building Legos and shit like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
it had a use.
Fair enough.
So,
there's an AT-AT coming at some point.
Apparently, I learned that per like the production notes or something, AT-ATs are actually pronounced AT-ATs.
Yeah.
Is it?
Which is fucking stupid, by the way.
I like AT-AT.
It should be, because what are ATSTs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Correct.
stupid.
Correct. Yes.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like
All-
almost everything else
Lucas
George
doing
Lucas
something
did.
stupid.
All-terrain armored transports.
You know what the music
all-terrain
was called in the
scout
cantina, right?
transports.
You know what the music was called in Cantina, right?
I remember
Yes.
being fucking stupid.
Yes,
but
it
I
is.
can't remember. I've drawn a blank.
It's almost jazz, but not quite.
Space Jazz?
No.
No.
Jazz?
So much worse.
You have
Same
to
amount of letters. You got to change one
You got
letter
to change
in that.
one letter in jazz. Just one.
Saz?
Nope.
It's
Pass?
the
You
second.
got to change a
It's the
vowel. You
second.
just got to change a vowel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jez?
How do you spell that? How do you spell
Jaws?
No.
G-E-Z-Z?
it? For J. So jazz
Let's
is
go.
spelled
One more vowel.
J-A-Z-Z.
One more vowel down.
Jizz?
Yes.
Wait, no.
Yes.
No.
I'm glad we got to go on that journey.
Yeah. Yeah. The Cantina band was a jizz band. Just so you know.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It's called jizz canonically.
God damn it.
Yeah.
He could have done anything
Literally
else.
any other word.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Megan and I tried to go snowboarding today. It's that time of year. Denver is almost certainly to see its latest snowfall ever in its history.
Since 1934.
Yeah, 1934 was the previous latest, and it was November 28th.
The
okay.
Dust Bowl,
Oh.
specifically.
Yeah, and we're about to beat the fucking Dust Bowl. However, the mountains have been getting a decent amount of snow, and somebody posted on like Thursday or Friday on one of the subreddits I follow for snowboarding some awesome video of them up at Berthoud Pass, which is on the way to Winter Park. Looked great, so we were like, shit, let's go check it out Monday. No, it was all super tracked out. It's been like 40 or 50 degrees up there every day since Thursday. So a lot of the snow had melted. So we got up there, we kind of looked at some things, and we went, we're not taking core shots. Let's go home. So we drove to Cameron Pass and back today.
Core shots?
Yeah, so like hitting a rock on your board and getting through the laminate layer on the base and into the core of the board.
I see.
Which is super bad.
That's very bad. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing that could happen, though.
It's pretty close.
I feel like there's something worse.
I mean, like straight up breaking your board, getting hurt, getting buried in an avalanche. Like, I mean,
breaking
there's worse
something,
things.
yeah.
Breaking legs.
Yes. Oh, that could be worse.
We're gonna try again on Wednesday. There's supposed to be a small chance of snow for Sunday night going into Monday or Wednesday morning. Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. Sorry. Wow. I don't know. Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. Wednesday is also opening day for Winter Park. So we're going to go see about maybe doing some backcountry at Cameron or at Berthoud Pass. If the snow still looks like shit, we're just going to go down and do ice laps at Winter Park for opening day. So it'll be the first time in my life, despite this being Denver's latest measurable snowfall, this will be my earliest day snowboarding ever. I've never snowboarded in November, and I will this week at some point. I will put my board on some snow.
Wow.
So I'm excited for that.
Woo.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Let's move on to some news and Kickstarters.
I mean, I probably do, but I don't fucking
Yeah, that's fine. No need to bore people with non-board game related stuff. They came here for fucking board games.
Yeah, we can bore them with board gaming things.
Exactly. First up on news.
Have you heard of this Critical Role place? Well, they made something that got a lot of news.
Sort of. I don't know how much Critical Role had to do with it.
It was a producer on Critical Role.
So you guys played Blades in the Dark
Yes.
on MHGD as like one of the
one of our one shots.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Really like Blades in the Dark. Really cool system, especially if you want to play like Gang of Thieves planning an awesome heist. Like it has a whole mechanic where like in the middle of the heist when something goes awry, you can be like, actually, here's a flashback. And you can flash back to how you prepared for that, like knowing what's going to go awry and make it like, oh, no, we planned for this all along. It's really cool. Really makes you feel like you're the Gang of Thieves pulling off cool shit in a weird dystopian world without light and crazy electricity ghosts. Awesome setting. So somebody, apparently it started with a pun where somebody was talking about Blades in the Dark and somebody said,
I would say an easy pun.
An easy pun, very much.
Yes.
Beyblades in the Dark. And somebody went, well, shit, now I need to make that happen. Yeah. And they put a bunch of work into hacking together Blades in the Dark's system to allow the use of Beyblades. And I think what it boiled down to, from what I understand from reading through this article and like looking at some of the tweets and things for it, basically there's a part of the game where you do a series of rolls that kind of determines how you're starting your mission. Like, did things go smooth getting to the start of the mission, the heist? And they found a way to do that with the Beyblades, where they launched like 3 or 4 different colored blades, and then the last one standing determines like whether you're in like the bottom, lower middle, upper middle, or top like success range.
Gotcha.
But still pretty great.
I was hoping they'd use it more in a like, you got to go, mano a mano with somebody, and then it's just like, all right, let's fucking Beyblade
it. They talked about that, but the problem is that a Beyblade round could be like 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So rather than like a quick like 1 second die roll, it extends like all of the contest out to like 30 or 40
is
seconds.
What you're saying? Yes.
So like, yeah, like here's the video of them doing it with Blades in the Dark. And fighting out Beyblades. There you go. Beyblades in the Dark. I don't know if they've published any actual rules for it. Look, it looks like they threw a die in there too. Like,
yeah.
I saw one of the Beyblades take off out of the screen.
We're here for the pun of Beyblades in the Dark, and then everything else is gravy. So,
yeah. So, okay, interesting. The Beyblades resolution skewed more in favor of successes, they found. So, if you want to be nice to your players, because it is technically a GM ran system, so you do still have a GM. But yeah, they showed this picture of like, that's the Blades in the Dark, like the main city. I want that giant map of that fucking city, like, because I want to play a lot more Blades in the Dark. and I want that.
You can
fucking
get some
city.
pieces of paper and a pencil and just start drawing.
No.
I'm sure you'll have an approximation of that at some point in the future.
Not a good one.
I did not comment on quality.
Yeah.
I just said an approximation.
Pass.
Yep.
I pass on that, as does anybody who would ever play with me.
Yes.
Anyway, that's Beyblades in the Dark. Fun little bit of nerd trivia for a fun RPG system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
Next up on news.
Have you ever wanted to be the Goku of choo-choo games? Well, Ultimate Railroads is for you.
Yep.
So Ultimate Railroads is the end-all be-all of Russian Railroads. So it's Russian Railroads, both Russian Railroads expansions, and a new expansion.
Super Saiyan Instinct of railroad games?
At least, yeah.
At least.
Maybe.
That's where he gets the gray hair, white hair?
No, Instinct is white hair, I think.
White hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God is blue.
Yes.
And look, you already have the 1 star, so.
Yeah. You gotta wait for this. There it is. There it
yeah.
is. The 1 star. So this has Russian railroads, the first 2 expansions, American railroads and German railroads, and an all new expansion, Asian railroads. And they also have updated rail colors that are exclusive to Ultimate Railroads. So it'll kind of change up the look of your game a little bit. But otherwise, pretty much unchanged.
I think the base game had been out of print for a little while.
Yes.
So it's good that they're bringing it back.
I feel like I've heard really good things about Russian railroads.
It's like $80 for this whole shebang. Is that right?
It's not bad for
a choo-choo game.
Choo-choo game in 3 expansions?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ultimate Railroads. Go check it out. From
Might be
Z-Man
180.
Games.
I don't know. There's no way to know.
I mean, I'm sure I can just click on this Ultimate Railroads thing right here and wait for it to load.
$120. Yeah.
Split the difference a little bit.
Yeah. $120.
That seems more on
this is from
track for a game that has a decent amount of components along with 3 expansions.
Yeah.
It's also from a Z-Man.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Next up on news.
Last up on news.
Last up.
Plaid Hat has a new game coming family friendly from the folks that made you them other critter games also at Plaid Hat.
Yikes. So the Jerry Hawthorne, who designed Mice and Mystics, is putting out Familiar Tales here. It is a lot like Stuffed Fables in that the gameplay is like a spiral-bound notebook that you just open up, and that's the board you're going to play on. It's very much a choose-your-own-adventure type game where you're going to be able to what you do in one mission will affect like what mission you might go to afterwards or like the situation starting out in that next mission. It also takes place over it's got a little bit of like a legacy component, some sealed packs and things that you open, and it takes place over a decent amount of time because when the game starts, you are these 4 characters who are creations of a wizard, and you, at the start of the game, are trying to help this baby escape bad things or get to good things. I'm not really sure, but there's a whole mechanic for like moving the baby along. And at the beginning of the game, the baby is just a little cardboard disc. And then there's a child mini. And then there's like a young adult mini for the baby. So it takes place over a long enough period of time that the baby, grows into a child. They have a bunch of sideboards and things where you track hit points and other statistics. The actions are going to be handled by a unique deck of cards. They compare to Gloomhaven. That will also kind of change and grow over time. There's a lot of crafting mechanic in it. Whole bunch of stuff like that.
A lot of minis.
Yeah, $80 for the game, which it seems a bit much for me. For like, it definitely seems like it's a little bit more geared towards like families, like with kids. But the minis look good. I do like the 4 characters are one of them is a little candle tinder fairy, a chalk golem, a little fire spirit. And then Gribbert the Frog, who was previously a notorious bandit that got turned into a frog by a witch, which is kind of a weird eclectic group of characters that seems like it might be fun and offer some like, significantly different gameplay between the 4 characters. So yeah.
It's another one of those.
Another one of those.
It's probably going to be fine.
Familiar Tales is that one.
That's it for news.
Moving on to Kickstarter.
First up on Kickstarter is Hegemony. Very well funded, $509,000 of $17,000 game. Over 7,700 backers. About 2 weeks left to go, which you can get for about $68.
I don't remember how I used to vaguely mispronounce this in my brain when I read like the Ender series, because it has a lot of stuff about like hegemonies and hegemonies. I pronounced it wrong, I'm sure, when I was a kid.
Hegemony.
Much like leagues that I pronounced leagues when I was young. Thanks, phonetics.
Yes.
Anyway, so Hegemony is a 1 to 4 player board game about politics and economy and class warfare, which sign me the fuck up. Basically, the way the game plays is each of the players takes on a different role of the different like classes involved in a parliamentary, fairly democratic society. So there's working class, middle class, capitalist class, and then one player takes on the role of the state. And it's very asymmetric. Each group wants different things and scores points in different ways. So like the working class is really about trying to get like different rights and working conditions and jobs and earn money.
Boring.
The capitalist class wants to amass wealth and have a lot of control over like influence on the state and make more businesses.
Mm-hmm.
The middle class is kind of in between the working class and the capitalist class. They want a little bit of both. And then the state really just wants to do enough to keep all of the other three classes happy enough that the state gets to continue to function. Which I think is a really, really cool kind of way to do it. Basically, the game plays down here, scroll, over the course of a few phases that take place over the course of several rounds. The first phase is the prep phase, where you draw action cards, you reveal companies, you add new workers to the nation, things like that. The action phase, each class has 6 main different actions that they get to play action cards or discard them to get class-specific actions, things like that. Then you go into the production phase. Companies produce goods and services, workers get paid and pay for their needs, and the state earns taxes. And then you have an election phase where the parliament proposes a bunch of different like bills and things, essentially policies. They get debated over and then voted on by all the different groups, and the state's political framework adjusts based on what policies it produces and who has influence on it. And then everybody scores scores points based on their different like scoring objectives. And you do that for several phases, for 5 rounds. You do all those phases, and then you go into the end game, and whoever has the most points is the winner and achieves hegemony. I don't know. It seems really cool. I didn't get a chance to look through it as much as I'd want to. I'm definitely going to take a much closer look at it because it seems right up my alley. Asymmetric, like vaguely political. Problem is, I always want to like play the working class. Workers unite.
Fine. I'll use the capitalist, and I'll just take everything from you.
Who's the working class in Root?
Definitely the Woodland Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Meanwhile, the capitalists are definitely the cats.
Yeah.
You know, the cats might be the state because they're the currently in power.
The Irie?
The Irie might be the elite, the wealth,
because they're trying to overthrow
class.
The cats.
Yeah, and they want to take control, and they seem fucking uppity. Might be just because of how often I've played Lizard Cult, but fuck them birds.
Birds are a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's got some pretty good reviews. Components and things look really cool. It's
also $68 is not bad.
Not too bad. And then they have one of the other things that like I saw a lot of people praise on like some of the reviews and stuff throughout the Kickstarter is it comes with a whole like educational booklet that goes over the different concepts and is basically seems like an introduction to like class politics and stuff, and you know, might be one of those sneaky ways to get people to understand, you know, class solidarity and things like that.
Have you kids ever heard of socialism?
Well, allow me to introduce you to my friend Marx. Yeah,
it has a plastic tray.
Plastic.
A plastic tray.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
There are some things like I'm not sure. Like the game board looks fairly uninteresting.
Well, it seems
They're
like
laying down a lot of tiles,
and it seems like the cards are like a big part of it.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely want to I'm gonna watch some videos and like see how it actually looks like it plays. It does also look like a game where there's a lot going on to where it might almost be too much going on. But there's been a lot of other like asymmetric games that feel that way, and then you get to play them, and it's like, holy shit, this is actually fucking awesome.
We didn't talk about it this week, but let's talk about games that have too much fucking going on. Mr. Weather Machine.
Oh my god, I don't know how I'm ever gonna. I don't know if we're even gonna be able to talk about that.
Adrian,
ever.
you're 100% right. There's just too much there's too much going on in the game. You don't have to worry about it. Just as your worker self, just keep your head down. Just focus on your day-to-day stuff. That's all you have to worry
yourself
about.
apathetic.
Zach is already playing the capitalists very effectively. Here's some bread.
Yeah.
Would you like to go watch a circus?
Don't worry about paying rent.
No.
Or barely paying rent.
No. In fact,
you should be happy you could barely pay rent.
In fact, let's make sure your rent is so high that all you can focus on is paying rent and nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, we have this nice company housing, and then to make sure you can always afford it, I'll pay you in Zach bucks, and you can use those to buy.
Oh my god, it's a fucking nightmare. Future society.
What was the name on the Itchy and Scratchy Land? What was the name of the bucks?
I don't remember.
Scratchy Bucks?
Yeah, I think it was Scratchy Bucks. That sounds right. I didn't see. I don't think this one has a tabletop simulator yet. The next game we're going to talk about definitely does. I don't remember. I don't remember if this one did. I don't think so.
Well, what's that next game?
That next game. Moving on. So that's Hegemony that we just finished talking about. Let's move on to the next and final Kickstarter this week. Megapulse.
It looks cool. Just funded 32,000 of its $30,000 goal, 491 backers, 2 weeks left to go, and you can get it for $84.
What's Rainbow Road doing up there?
Yeah, it sure does look like that.
It is heavily inspired by F-Zero, Wipeout, and Mario Kart. So Megapulse, 2 to 4 player game, takes about 60 minutes, and you are racing in space. They are very adamant that it's like Mario Kart, Wipeout, all those games.
Speed Racer as well.
Speed Racer's thrown in there.
It's got to be better than that one racing game that I have that's the bunch of VHS looking things.
Oh my god, yeah.
Laser Riders?
Something like that.
I can't remember. Anyhow, so in Megapulse, you start by building your modular track. So there's a track booklet that has a bunch of different ones, or you can kind of just make up your own. Use special tiles to create hard curves, alternate paths, shortcuts, things like that. Very Rainbow Road having a major shortcut. Then you choose a pilot and a hoverboard, each of which have different abilities and statistics and things like that. So like pilots have their own ability. Hover cars have different play styles, like how they maneuver and stuff. Then it is simultaneous action selection, where each of the players will choose 2 cards. You'll play them down. You'll reveal them, and this is where this Kickstarter, this falls apart. Like, I guess they call it key features, but then they like kind of explain it like, here's how you play. You do this and this and this, and then you do it, and then it just gets to hand building.
It's insanely fun, but also they show that a cat's playing. So how is that not a key feature of this game?
I do love that. Like, it even shows the paws putting the card down on the GIF. But so the simultaneous action selection is coming from a deck of cards that you get to build up and change as the game goes on. It's where that hand building and insanely tight. As you reveal the cards, they determine like what actions you get to do and your total speed for that round. And so like if you have a lot of speed going through a corner, you're gonna maybe crash unless like your card is like side drift, like they've got like side jets and stuff because it's all in vaguely in space. Space track that you're still on a track and not. I don't know.
Yeah, and drifting definitely something you can do in space.
Vaguely space-like. I mean, inertia still exists in space.
I know it still exists, but it's.
There was a really good space sim game that was voiced by Bruce Campbell, and I think it was called Tachyon Beyond the Fringe, and it was one of the only games that did where you didn't use space fighter like with Atmosphere. It was like you could be Space Fighter and you could continue momentum and like turn around mid momentum and be like, I'm moving that way. I can just like turn and then shoot behind me while keeping that same amount of speed. And I was like, oh, I see what space fighting actually could be.
Yes.
Now this is space fighting.
Do
Do
a barrel roll. It's really an aerial roll. It's not actually a barrel roll.
Yeah, so they have whole mechanics for like losing traction as you go around curves. There's boost pads and things, and they allow you to like heal your ship, your hover car, also charging up your boost abilities. You can also upgrade your car to give you different abilities and other weird actions, like just straight up swapping spots with somebody else. All kinds of stuff like that. So
that's why we have to play Gravewell.
Gravewell's a lot of fun too.
2nd edition.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't know about that.
Individual like ship powers or something like that.
Cool. If you want to try out Megapulse, since that is the game we're covering on Kickstarter, it is available on Tabletop Simulator, so you can go check it out.
Check a look.
Yeah, very synthwave and neon filled racy game.
You could be on a space motorcycle.
So there's the Falcon that's like just a
definitely F-Zero.
Okay. There's the Tron-esque bike.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know. I have no idea what the X350.
Maybe Wipeout.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Same thing. I don't know Equinox. I'm sure one of these has to be vaguely Speed Racer.
Which one is Mario?
Mario, Champion,
Mario.
Trickster, Freak, Expert are the.
There's no.
I don't see anything that's clearly Mario.
Mario Kart, like a turtle in a go-kart.
Yeah, don't see any. You can also get the expansion, Soulflex.
Yes, which is the $84 version. Comes with all that.
It includes Nemesises and things like that. Nemesis. Hungaborn. What?
That looks like a stingray.
It's clearly not
manta
there yet.
ray.
They even still the hover car little is question mark.
That is definitely a manta ray.
Adds the Mystic and the Colossus. Clearly the Colossus has to be Mario. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
It's a big old mushroom. I don't know. Great. There you go.
We did it.
I want to check back with Chris Alsop from Diary of a Lincoln Geek, who says he will never get bored of this game. That's a bold claim.
Never.
But that's Megapulse, which wraps up news and Kickstarter for this week. No new listener feedback. No one sent emails. No one tweeted.
They had so much time between the last episode and this episode to really.
I know.
I know.
To listen.
Plenty of time.
And then tell us
Multiple-
about it.
Yeah, multiple hours. All right.
Multiple hours.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 at least.
At least.
Anyway, if you would like to send us some listener feedback, you can do so in a number of different ways. You can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
We have a Instagram account at MHGameGuys.
Woo.
Facebook.com/MHGameGuys if you want to participate in those social medias.
Where we release episodes on now.
Yes,
we can.
On Facebook.
Facebook podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Bizarre.
Weird. The metaverse. Yeah, I just died a little inside.
I know. It hurts. You can also go to punchboardmedia.com and search for MHGG to see all of our episode posts with links to things like the news and Kickstarter items we talk about, links to our Slack channel where you can come hang out and bullshit with all of us, because that's mostly where we hang out and socialize.
Correct.
It's a cool group of people. Yeah. BGG Guild number 2731. Don't do a lot of stuff over there these days, but we do some. And then follow us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys, where you can come watch the behind-the-scenes live recording of the episodes. And occasionally we stream board games. Hoping to maybe get back to that after Thanksgiving. We'll see. It'll be interesting. But yeah, that's all the different ways to get a hold of us. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, hopefully you heard all of the ad read. For the next few episodes, we are doing a short-term sponsorship with Givewell.org. If you go to their website and you donate to charity through them, they select and vet different charities. And if you use Mile High Game Guys, if you select Mile High Game Guys as where you heard about Givewell, they will match your contribution up to $250, which is pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
So Givewell.org for that. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up everything for this episode. We are potentially going to take next week off. It's very up in the air. We're trying to figure out if we can squeeze in a recording between Zach getting back from BGG and me leaving to go to Detroit for Thanksgiving. If we don't, then we'll just take a week off and we'll be back after Thanksgiving. Just listen to the back catalog.
There's hundreds.
Catch
Hundreds
up on
of
episodes you may have missed. It's better than spending time with family.
Go find our worst one and go listen to that one.
Which one was the first one?
Not
Let us
worst.
know.
Well,
know.
the first has to be close to the worst.
I don't know.
I think that first Gen Con one we did was probably the
Oh,
worst.
yeah.
Oh, in the kitchen,
Yeah.
echoey kitchen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
With like 7 people.
yeah,
Yep.
not knowing what like Omni mics were.
So many mistakes were made.
You know what wasn't a mistake? Seeing Shin Godzilla last week.
Correct.
It's the best Godzilla movie.
Heard that it's the best Godzilla movie if you really want to watch bureaucracy.
Yeah, governmental procedure and lasers. You got everything. I don't know what.
It's good. It's a good movie. Watch it. Shin
Yep.
Godzilla. Fantastic.
Well, on that note,
Great soundtrack.
let's call this one. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm a lightsaber through a fucking skyscraper, Jeff.
Bye.
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 Punchboard Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.